Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. It's been a minute. Right, this whole Ben and Ciara story, them coming back. I don't really see the point of them coming back to the show. I really don't. Ciara's pregnant, and Ciara goes to see her mother, Hope. And just when Hope is about to sit there and kiss Harrison, or AKA Jason 2.0, she comes in and she's like, "What's going on?" Given Harris' history, what he put Hope's family through, I can understand her reaction. Now, Hope and Harris, it's gonna take me a hot minute to get used to that. Um, seem like they're having a bit of a moment. They're dropping all the pretenses, and Harris is like, "I want to sit there and try to give us a chance, not this whole I'm faking it to try to get to you and you're faking it to try to get to me. Let's just really be us. Let's just see where this goes." And, Hope is like, I'm willing to give it a try, but here's the thing. Even if somehow Bo did not come back, I don't think that Hope will ever get over. I mean, granted, I haven't really watched the show that long. I know Hope was with Rave for a little bit, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I just don't feel like she ever really got over Bo. And every other person that's came into her life to try to be in her life as far as relationship went has just been like placeholders at best. You know, I know that in our heart she'll sit there and say, "Well, Bo will want me to be happy," but yeah, I don't see that happen. I really don't. Um, I also don't see the again. I don't see the point of Ben and Ciara come back to the show, but here we are. So okay, cool. Now let's talk about Megan and Bo for a minute. I've been watching it for the past couple of days. Actually, tell you the truth, I have not stopped watching it. But Bo getting back his memories and his memories of his father, and just he's like, "Yo, listen, I'm not a company man. I'm not used to sitting there taking orders and stuff like that." And he tells Megan, "It's like, yo, listen, I'm done now." Megan is talking about how she wants to sit there and do this serum so this way they can get back their time, their youth, and everything like that was stolen from them. And Bo's like, "No, I'm good. Let the past stay in the past. I'm ready to move on." And then for some odd reason, and this has to be a budget thing. This has to be a budget thing because Megan has, like, she has needle whatever, and it has like a sedative. She's like, "I'm just gonna sit there and give it this needle, and then Rock can sit there and just tune your brain up or whatever, just to make you kind of realize that I'm the only one for you." And I'm looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, Megan, you're like what, 130 pounds at best? Do you honestly think that he's just gonna? First of all, I don't understand why you think that he would just sit there and say, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, Megan, you know what's best for me." I don't know what Roth was actually doing with Bo, but at one point he's super obedient. Next minute he sits there and reads some files like, "Oh, that's who I was. I was pretty much just a rebel without a cause. Why am I actually sitting there working for her again?" She doesn't even pay me. I don't understand like how it went from brainwashing to him just being super independent and being like, "No, I don't want to work for you anymore. I want to leave this place. I want to see my life is like outside of here. I want some windows. I'm good." I don't get that. I really don't understand that. And Megan's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna give you a incentive." It's like he's just gonna sit there and say yes. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you not realize who you fell in love with in the first place? You think he's just gonna just sit there and be like, "Yeah." So at one point he turns around and I'm just like, she has a syringe in her hand. She wants to sit there and stick you with it. You think it's a good idea for you to turn your back on this woman? Why? I'm very curious about that. Um, but he's able to sit there and catch her, and he stabs her with the syringe, and he's all like, "I'm sorry," whatever. And he's about to leave, and he starts leaving, and he runs into Kayla. Now, Kayla, Roth is there telling Kayla that you are the luckiest. the lucky recipient or whatever, this miracle cure that's gonna, turn you young or whatever. They get to talking. This is after he decides between Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo with her and Marlena. And he tells Kayla that Kate is dead. And of course, she just believed it for some odd reason. But at some point, he does sit there and try to stick her with it because, she just wakes up and she's not, she's still kind of loopy or whatever. So he tries to poke her, with the needle. But, she overpowers him. And he's like, oh, how is this possible? The senator shouldn't have war so quick. I was like, bro, you're like 800 years old. I'm pretty sure she can take you on a good day. So, of course, that's what she does. Knocks him to the floor and she runs. And, of course, she runs in the bow. Meanwhile, you got Steve and John on a on a plane. On a plane. I was gonna sit there and try to make some jokes about the effects or whatever, but hey, listen, they did a good job. So they get there, and yeah, it's funny because they get to the compound after them like narrowing down where most likely Megan's at. They get to the compound, they split up. So there's this running scene. And of course, Kayla's running one way and Steve just happens to run the other way and they don't see each other. So you sit there and think at some point, okay, they're not going to see each other. But of course, John runs into the room where he sees Marlena. Sees Marlena. Steve doesn't see Kayla, but of course, Kayla sees Buck. Funny, I think that's actually about it. Yeah, it's weird because honestly, to tell you the truth, again, the Sierra and Ben stuff really didn't do it. They're going to be going back to Salem. So they're going to be going back to Salem, and Ben was kind of heartbroken about Marlena's death, and I know it was more to this. I'm not going to lie, I'm not really interested in them coming back. I'm not interested in him playing Ben again, and being with Ciara. I've never really cared about those two. I've always found them to just be annoying and cringy and just blah. I know a lot of people like them, and that's great. It's just not for me. But yeah, they're going to be coming back to Salem, so that might be kind of interesting. If Alex is in, if Alex, they got to do a scene with Alex. That should be interesting. Not gonna lie, I don't understand how they're gonna make that work. What what are they gonna do when he actually does come back to Salem? Is he gonna have to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, Ben, you're back here"? I mean, I know the way that they're dressed, their dress, like the way that they dress, the way that he acts when he's Alex, you can tell he's just a completely different character. His personality is just completely different. So it's not like it's going to be super hard. Even the way his hairstyle is a lot different than Ben. Um, it. I'm not gonna lie. For me, it just makes Ben seem so much more boring than Alex. I'm just gonna be real. He's just so much more boring than Alex. So it's just like, yeah, he's Ben again. That's great. How long we got to sit there and endure this? That's what I'm sitting there thinking in my head. Can't really think of anything else that happened. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video or live stream or both.